We'll do it live. Fuck it.
That's right. We'll do it live. Welcome to Business Party Podcast, everybody. On this Wednesday edition, usual shit. But we do have a guest that I was on his podcast once, and it's a very good podcast. He is the host of Not a Real Libertarian podcast. This is Chris Bootleg Darnell. Woo! What the fuck is up?
We did it again.
Not my motivation.
Yeah, not my motivation.
Listen, it is what it is.
Yeah. Especially
Nope.
with all the bullshit that we keep seeing that doesn't get taken care of in the fucking our government, everything else. It's hard to stay motivated for anything.
Listen, I just think if I win the lottery, I'm gonna buy 3 tanks, post it in front of my giant house, and smile.
It's gonna be one of those ones. If I win the lottery, I'm not telling anybody, but there will be signs.
I'll be somewhere very nice.
I'll have a fucking AK-47 mailbox and shit.
Did you see that Brazil a few years back was auctioning off an aircraft carrier? The price on it wasn't bad. It was like $6 million.
That ain't bad.
Did you ever see I know we're going on a tangent. Here we go, kids. We're going on a rocket ship. Did you see the Pepsi documentary?
Introduce the guy, like get to know who he is, what he does, how he's doing.
Yeah, let's go.
Anything?
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself,
Jeez,
sir?
lubricate first, man. Jesus.
See, she's got to wrangle us in. That's the whole.
This is why. Yeah, so this is why Mama J's here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and do the professional
yourself.
thing? Yes, do the professional thing. Go ahead and introduce yourself and a little bit of your background and whatnot. Let's do this right.
Where people can find you when you're on, so people can watch your content.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I'm terrible at that.
The formalities.
Mhm.
It was in the first 5
Thank
minutes.
you, Sam.
I feel her. See, Sam is one of my peoples. She's the secretary for the show.
I'm Susie. Everybody knows
That's
it.
yeah. Her name's Susie.
Yeah.
Susie Q. Like the old CCR song.
Mhm.
But yeah, we did change the name. It's called Not a Real Podcast now. Because I wanted people to think I was less autistic because I took Libertarian out of the name. It's not true, but I just wanted people to think that.
Right.
Yeah, name's Chris Darnell. I am the current vice chair for the Libertarian Party of Tennessee. We're doing a ballot access lawsuit right now. One thing I'm heading up. We go live Thursday nights. See, I'm going to be all over the place now, so it's y'all's fault. I gotta blame somebody. We'll blame Trump. But we go live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. We do Bootleg and Susie on Sundays. We need to get back into those. But yeah, gun advocate. One of the
Couldn't
boys,
tell.
BOIS. Yeah. Used to own a gun store. Pretty much live, sleep, and have sexual thoughts about anti-gun legislation. Just all the fun stuff. So
That's right.
oh, and
Do you draw a
we have
gun on the
baby
bag?
coming.
Ah, with you and Susie?
Not right now.
Yeah, no, it's not Susie, it's someone else. It makes it really awkward. Yeah, it's Susie.
I was gonna say, props, sir. Congratulations.
Pull that off like a win, son.
Listen, I can't satisfy one woman. It's been twice, and they gone. So, congratulations on that.
Yeah. That's,
Oh man! So tell us a little bit about that lawsuit that you said that you're a part of right now.
yeah, apparently I hate my life a lot and hate having any free time, but we're actually in the process of suing the state of Tennessee for ballot access. Currently in the state, it requires around 52,000 signatures just to get on the ballot, unless you're a Republican, Democrat, or Independent. It's been that way pretty much. Yeah, it's bullshit. It's been that way pretty much since Jim Crow. And I can't imagine why Southern Democrats would be really into making it hard for political parties that they don't control to put people on the ballot, like the Black Freedom Caucus out of Tennessee years ago. It couldn't have been that. But yeah, we're fighting to get the law thrown out and get something better so we can actually have a fair shake in elections. Something that looks something close to democracy, but we'll see.
Right.
Listen, everything is against democracy. You don't know that? If you think differently, you're against democracy. If you want to own firearms, you're against democracy.
That's what always pisses me off about the debates and everything like that, because we never get to hear any libertarian point of views or anything. Like the last election, you couldn't hear anything from Jo Jorgensen. I didn't hear shit from her.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's probably not the worst thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Joe fan. I voted for him, but I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I liked some of her stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I voted for Trump, but then after he banned the bump stock shit, I was like, you fucking piece of shit. But yeah.
Yeah. But like, I mean, listen, I understand that. I'm still thinking he's more of a centrist and he's just trying to fucking appease people. And if he gets in this time, I don't know. It's like, what do you crucify him if he doesn't do what he says? Yeah, we're voting.
Yeah,
I'm voting.
I want to, but then also I make the point that a lot of people don't want to agree with, is that if we want to make a change or see if anything actually counts, how about nobody votes, period? And we have to make the government fucking be like, well, what do we do now?
Well, I
mean, that's my point of view somewhat on it.
I think the best thing to do is just vote locally. I mean, your best bet is to just vote locally, because that's the way you're going to make any change. I mean, for the most part,
definitely. Yeah.
The most part, voting for the president, I guess, is like the fucking Super Bowl, but everybody forgets there's 16 games to get to the Super Bowl, and then you got playoffs and everything like that. So if you vote for everybody up to the president, there's more of a chance that, you'll get what you want. But
I forgot what state it was. We were talking about that one time.
Delusion?
The Free State Project. I forget which state it's in, where they're actually going super libertarian. New Hampshire, yeah. Now, I wouldn't really want to go there, but they're trying to make it as free as possible. So, I mean, that's at least starting in one area where they're making a difference, which, yeah, that you start doing that, then your states can have more power, and they will actually tell the federal government to go fuck itself because they have the power to.
Yeah. But, I mean, isn't there a motto, live free or die? Is that New Hampshire? Yeah.
Yes,
that was Delaware, wasn't it? Is it New Hampshire?
No, Delaware is eat ice cream and not know where you're going. That's Delaware.
Eat ice cream and tax-free shopping.
2 scoops of ice cream and a delusional man.
I mean, it doesn't sound that bad.
Not if you're a Biden, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Holy shit.
I must be a fucking Biden. I love me some chocolate ice cream.
To each his own.
Oh, that was like
live free or die.
You just doing that reminded me of that thing where they just showed Fetterman. They were like, "What about the?"
Oh my god!
Like, oh my god!
Oh, did you send that in a text message or where? Or was that on? Where'd you send?
I found it on Twitter.
Was it on Twitter? Okay, let me see because that was great. Like, he's so dumb. Like, extremely.
He has brain damage.
Listen, I don't care if he has brain damage. Did you see that video? Did you see the video?
The thing I'll give credit is in that video, he sounded like he put more words together faster than he ever has at all.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So it's Fetterman 3.0. Yes, he's cloned. I said it. No, I don't know if he is, but he fucking seems like it.
Do we know if his wife came back from Canada at all?
I have no idea.
His wife and kids, did they finally come back to the United States, or are they still doing like, what is that called? Like those zip lining in Canada?
They they're on the hunt for a Fetterman 4.0, actually, is what they're doing. I can't find it now. Son of a biscuit.
They're running out of lizard people to take over.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, do you think the island, the movie The Island, wasn't real? You've got another thing coming, my friend.
That's a brutal movie too.
That is a brutal movie. Like they just like, well, I'm gonna take this person. I'm gonna be this. Like, I can't find it.
It's insane. They have like rich people cloning themselves who have like medical conditions, so they can just use the body parts of the clone.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Which isn't
it's
surprising.
Not that crazy though.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not. It's like, yeah.
We're probably a good solid 5 years away from that.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I believe
mainstream wise,
did
yeah.
it. We've already done
Mainstream
it,
wise, yeah, I
swear.
wouldn't be surprised if people are already doing that. Like we were talking last time, they're growing ears on the backs of mouses and shit. Like they've probably already done shit like that, and then they do the stem cell shit that like almost
Mhm.
nobody gets, but somehow people with money can get. And
Well, what is it? Isn't it like Barbara Streisand or someone else has like been cloning her dog for like years now?
yeah, she's had like four of the same fucking dog.
I mean, Dolly the sheep lived for 20 years, and that was back in the 90s. That was the first clone. I actually
the
was
reason
talking
that
about this.
dog's not living 20 years is because it's owned by Barbara Streisand, and it just keeps killing itself. It's not dying of natural causes. It just keeps she keeps finding it strangled with the leash in the closet.
Do you want to watch Beaches again? No. No.
That's Bette Midler, but
Oh, whatever.
Streisand is like Funny Girl.
Even worse.
New York accent one more time. I swear to God, I'm gonna jump.
I don't know nothing about it. Anyway.
But I want to bring up a little something
Beaches
about
is
what
such
you
a sad movie.
about
It's really
what
sad.
you kind of posted on there too. What was it? That Grisham lady. You posted something on hers.
And it's got some traction going right now. It's got some spice on it. It was basically
Yeah, there we
what the
go.
fuck did I say?
When even resident communist David Hogg says you're wrong, you're on the wrong side, I'd take a bow and just resign. Save people the time and money. Exactly.
And Ted Lieu.
And then person underneath you is like, why would she resign when she won last year's election? How about learn to win an election? And I put, because she's a tyrannical cunt.
Bada bing. Ding
When
dong.
even Democrats are saying you're fucking wrong, you can't do this with guns, and Republicans are like, who are we arguing with right now? We're confused. And I'm just like, I fucking hate all of you. Burn
Yep.
it all down. But there are some people though, like it does show, like because that person goes on to say that the majority of New Mexico supports her. That just shows like the absolute delusion some fucking people have about politics and why living in your own ecosystem of like stupidity and ignorance is bad for you. Because then you say dumb shit like that.
Well, wasn't New Mexico red at one point?
It flipped.
I believe so, yeah.
But I think it's a lot of the once again, it's a lot of the people that are being brought in that bring their politics into it, and they change the thing, and then they're like locusts. They're like locusts. They come in, they change their shit. They go, I don't like it here anymore, and then out.
It's like Austin, Texas, turning pretty fucking blue because of shit like that.
Yeah. What were you saying, Mama J? I'm sorry.
I don't remember.
Look at her. She's shaking mad.
good,
She's fucking
too.
pissed.
It was good.
Fuck this.
No, I was typing on my computer. I need to, I should just use the keyboard that I have. No, I'm trying
What were
to
you
think. I
typing
was
on?
trying to see. Dude,
Oh, yeah,
you
she's
know
on
what?
a
I have a really
laptop.
I am I'm very technologically illiterate. So
Well, and here's the other thing. The lawyer that there was a lawyer already that came out. We already knew that they said the FBI, even local force, can go arrest her ass. So that just shows you how corrupt yes, the FBI still is, and B, how corrupt the officials in her area are. Yeah, they denied it, but why aren't they taking her ass to jail? She should be taken to jail. That's a complete violation of her oath and the Constitution.
The whole thing, it just feels like just like a stunt though. Like in her speech and what she was talking about, she's like, well, listen, I'm doing something at least.
Yeah.
Because anytime a situation like this happens, everyone's like, someone needs to do something. And she's just like, look, I did something.
Yeah, but
now people are mad.
It's like a baby. It's like you give a baby a steak and the baby chokes on the steak and you're like, ban steaks. It's like, that idiot gave a baby a steak. Like, what are we doing? Like, some kid was killed, was murdered, and now all of a sudden she wants to just like take everything away from everybody. But
right.
I have.
Baby, why are you selling crack on the corner?
Hey, baby. Liquor store, gun store, liquor store. What the fuck? Where am I?
Dave Chappelle just came to mind.
She the problem is it's like a tweet I came out with the other day too. It's like you can be confident and wrong, which just makes you confidently ignorant, which is what she is. She is so confident that what she's doing is right. Even, I was about to reference this clip. Even fucking CNN is like, you're fucking wrong. You can't do this. And she's like, well, maybe I can't, but we'll see.
I don't like her fucking 2 Chainz necklace either.
That big ass fucking
Flavor.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, boy.
You boys, bang guns, boy.
It feels kind of like she kind of went across the line. Like she there's a line in which the Democrats do push when it comes to like gun control or like gun control measures, and like she kind of like skipped a few steps. So I feel like that's why you got, people like Ted Lowe and the David Hoggs and the Harry Styles or whatever the kid's name is. I don't know.
That douchebag. Yeah.
I call him Harry Styles. I don't know what his last name is.
Hairy little twat.
Yeah, but and that's why they're like, whoa, bitch, you went too far. You skipped like step 5, 6, and 7.
You showed our hand.
What are you doing? You're ruining it. You're ruining it.
Well, that's what some people were saying, that it was kind of like a tester area to see but she went way too fast.
Play that clip too, so we can
see
what she was saying.
But doesn't it seem like they don't give a fuck anymore? Like a lot of them just don't care. They just they're just quick to just go, all right, let's do this.
Because those are kids. They're kids who shouldn't be shot. But disgusting. We also have, Governor, the Constitution of New Mexico and the Constitution.
Did she just
Yes.
This lady's gonna talk and have an opinion.
There's questions I have to answer. They didn't prepare me for this.
The United States, and you're an attorney. Do you think you're on solid constitutional ground here?
Well, we're going to see. I mean, look, I wouldn't do it if I didn't think I had the right. I have the right.
Where is the right? Where is the right?
In the state of New Mexico. Public health, it's a suspension. It's not a ban. And we'll see what all of these court actions do. And I did say publicly, Poppy, look, I got a Supreme Court that says my personal bodily autonomy can be restricted. And yet NRA and other issues, the Second Amendment keeps getting broadened. So the Bruin case in New York, that deals with concealed carry and cases in Texas
that say you can
Governor,
be what I'm talking about. You bring up the Bruin case. The Supreme Court last year. Let me just ask you this, because the Supreme Court last year totally changed what we're allowed to do, what you're allowed to do. And they said, unless you can base it in the history and tradition, you don't have grounds to do something like this. The New Mexico Constitution, I looked last night, Article 2.
Oh, the Chiron on the bottom, or the Chiron. I'm protecting everyone's constitutional rights. Meanwhile, he's just shitting on every one of them.
Section 6 says this, quote, no law shall abridge the right of citizens to keep and bear arms for security and defense. No municipality or county shall regulate in any way any incident of the right to keep and bear arms. Are you not in violation of both the U.S. Constitution and your state's Constitution?
I don't believe that we are. And it's that narrow reading of the Constitution, which has been tested in the state. We wouldn't have universal background checks. We wouldn't have a waiting period. We wouldn't have a red flag law. We wouldn't have prohibitions for straw purchases. None of those would have been deemed constitutional. And today, all of them are.
They were before
These
the Supreme Court ruled
discussions. Fair, but they haven't been tested again.
Okay.
And so for law enforcement, and I understand
they're all against the Constitution.
Yeah.
Every law against firearms is against the Constitution. And the fact that she's a lawyer is disgusting. And she speaks like a lawyer. Yeah. Well, I did we'll see. What the fuck is we'll see? You're supposed to know the laws before you enforce the laws. Just like, maybe somebody's innocent until proven guilty and not guilty until they prove themselves innocent. Maybe that's the way it goes.
The whole thing with that, though, too, is like, you can say it's only a 30-day suspension or whatever, but how often does the government give you back your fucking rights? So fuck off with that.
Excuse me. I forgot there was 2 2 weeks to slow the spread turned into 3 years. Hey, how about you go fuck yourself, San Diego? Huh? Or New Mexico?
Here's the crazy thing is that for the first time in my life I can think of is CNN used a Supreme Court ruling in favor of firearms, which you referenced the NRA versus Bruin decision. And basically that's what the Bruin decision says is it says that basically you have to look in the history of the United States. Is there a precedent or an example in which a law has been used since 1794, 1796, whenever the Constitution was ratified? From that point to now, has been used before. Obviously, no one's ever outright just banned fucking guns in a state. So she, number one, doesn't have constitutional, or even Supreme Court justice precedent to argue on. And so GOA and a few other, gun lobby whatevers have actually filed a lawsuit against the state of New Mexico claiming that basically they should A, put a stay on this and block it, B, throw out any chance of this law happening for the future, and C, they said you shouldn't even give the defense the ability to speak on this and rule on it before they can speak, because on its face it's so unconstitutional they can't even have a possible defense that's usable against this. That was their lawsuit, and it said they don't have a leg to stand on, they can't argue it, throw this shit out.
The same thing they should have. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'd say, and also the other kicker too is whenever she even said she didn't even believe her oath was absolute. Like, come on.
That's apparent.
I don't even know. I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's not going to hold up. Obviously, it doesn't matter how many times she says that she wants to see, even if they keep trying to do whatever. I like the fact that the law enforcement there is being like, "Fuck you, we're not doing that."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's like, no, go ahead, Mama J.
Oh no, I was going to go on a whole other thing. So go ahead, Chris. You're going to say something.
I was going to say, it's a simple fix. It doesn't need a costly investigation. It doesn't need millions of dollars in feds and warrants and shit. Lowe's sells a 5-gallon jug of tar for $50. Walmart, you can buy a bag of feathers for $10. For $60, you have future-proofed guns into America. I mean, watching a politician get drug out, tarred, and feathered on national fucking news. They thought January 6th was bad.
Right.
This, no government ever talks about banning guns in the U.S.
Right, exactly. That starts happening. Everybody in the streets is like, feather that bitch. Yeah.
Dude, this is what I was going to hit. Exactly the same thing I was going to hit.
Oh, the fucking woo.
But no, that's it. But that's what, you were saying about that. But the same thing with the mail-in ballots from the last election.
Rainbow colored feathers, for the Dems.
They just make these laws and they just do these things and then just go, yeah, we'll do it. And then, because there's no such thing. There's nothing in the Constitution that says the election's supposed to go 30.
It.
Yeah. Oh, that too. But there's nothing in the Constitution that says everybody needs a mail-in ballot. There's nothing in the Constitution that states that the election is fucking 2 weeks, two weeks to a month long. Yeah. It's one day.
Okay. Yeah.
It's one day. And that's the way it should be. It should be all paper ballots. And we did it in the 70s. We can't do it now.
I'm sorry too. There shouldn't even be absentee ballots and shit. If you can't be in your area and you can't vote in person or whatever, then that's on you.
But military, only exception. Military is the only exception.
Yeah, I can see that.
But other than that, if you can't listen. If you move,
but I still think there'd be corruption in it though too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not that much. I mean, this last election was corrupt as fuck.
If they're overseas, then I'm sorry you can't vote. That'd be my opinion with that. But if you're on a base, they can set up something there for you to vote in person. I would think,
Well, the reason why they went away from paper ballots is once again Florida fucked it up with the hanging chads in 2000.
Yeah,
fucking hanging chads.
Fucking Florida
or pregnant chads, whatever the fuck they call it.
Nowadays, that's
Well, I mean, yeah,
It reminds me of that emoji with it was the dude that has the pregnant belly, and everyone's
still there, still there.
It's so weird.
Florida might do some wild shit, but it is single-handedly our greatest national defense. That and the Appalachian Mountains. That's those two things. Like, would you want to fight some dude cracked out on fucking bath salts who's been eating people's faces? Like,
bro, I'd love to watch a Somali ship just pull up to Florida and just watch them go at it. I would pay $100 for a pay-per-view to watch that shit go down. I'm the captain now. Oh yeah, you all do the captain this, watch this shit. Hey! Oh, that would be amazing.
Albert, come on out. And it's like a 50-pound gator going.
Oh my God, yeah. The fucking gator would eat 4 of them. They weigh like what, 27 pounds each?
It's like the fucking Florida Man Regiment just came out.
They hop off the boat. They turn around. The boat's missing. It's got 23-inch wheels and spinners on it, and it's running down the road with a fucking bunch of Cubans in it.
Instead of the national anthem, they come out to Paul Wall.
Fucking God dang. What's that guy, Mr. He's big in Miami. Pitbull. Yeah.
Mr. 305. I love Pitbull. I was just listening to his Globalization CD. That CD's a banger from start to finish. I'm sorry. It really is. I bumped that shit through Topeka, Kansas all the time.
I gained respect for him whenever he had his one show and he was like, yeah, you can feel however you want, but at the same time, fuck you if you ain't for America. And I was like, well, okay.
He continues to do it. He's on TikTok and everything is about how great America is and fuck everybody else. And it's like, yeah. If you want to make it America, you can come make it in America. That if you want to get here, come here legally. And once again, I feel bad for the people who are doing it legally and people who don't want to do it legally. I'm sorry. We can't process every single one of those people. What, of 15,000 people a day or whatever it is coming through. Sorry, it's not easy to process that many people. And once again, if you're coming through legally, and what did they call? Not amnesty. Jesus, Christmas Carol. I forgot. God. If they want to be granted asylum. There's specific reasons to be granted asylum. I'm sorry. If you don't like your life in your country, like we're trying to do, get something better. If you don't like the cartels, here's an idea. Go against the cartels. Not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but you got to do something. You can't just flee to another country and then have them take care of you.
Well, that seems to be what Eric Adams thought was going to happen. Then they came there and he turned into fucking American History.
History Adams?
Yeah, American History. Want to start kicking them out. But Biden officials shift blame for New York City migrant crisis on Mayor Eric Adams. I'll read a little bit of this. Biden administration officials have blamed Eric Adams for New York's out of control migrant crisis as tensions heat up between the Democrat factions. Department of Homeland Security employees have blasted the mayor's office for having no exit strategy for the 10,000 refugees the city takes in each month. Dude, you guys already knew that shit was going to be happening. Their comments are the latest example of the president's inner circle passing the humanitarian issue like a hot potato to local officials who in turn shunt responsibility back to the White House. One Department of Homeland Security employee told NBC News insiders are worried about this cycle could eclipse accomplishments made by the government on the what accomplishments for one?
Well, I mean, listen, I
more people in.
I have a video to show you his accomplishments. Hold on.
The only accomplishment he's done is run this fucking country into the ground so far, and also it's all your fault, fucking dipshit Biden, for letting them all in, opening the border and shit.
Well, I mean, at least Eric Adams is consistent with what he says.
As the mayor of the city of New York, I don't, weigh into immigration issues, border issues. I have to provide services for families that are here, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what our responsibility as a city. I'm proud that this is a right to shelter state, and we're going to continue to do that.
This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian-speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City.
I told you it was gonna happen, motherfucker.
Yeah, we've been warning everybody about this forever. But in true New York fashion, he called them Russian speaking instead of Russian.
They're not Russian. They're Russian speaking. You know,
We're
all the other
getting
nations that
Russian
speak
speaking,
Russian.
Jamaican, Venezuelan speaking, Brazilian speaking people,
Spanish speaking, Chinese speaking motherfuckers.
See, it's fun to be a sanctuary state when you don't border somewhere that has an immigration problem. There's not a whole lot of Canucks coming south and be like, we're trying to escape free healthcare, bro. Like, they'll walk across the border, but they're not. It's not an epidemic. But it's cute to watch New York be like, you know, we think that there should be a ton of immigrants coming to the United States as long as they're not coming here. And it's nice, like they're Republicans, but softer about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
didn't the Biden administration want to tell Texas that they couldn't send send the illegals anywhere else? They had to stay. It was a stay in Texas policy.
You can't just have them stay in Mexico. You got to have them stay in Texas.
In Texas, yeah.
And not only that, they were suing Texas. There was congressmen and senators like AOC suing Texas for trafficking people. They were saying that Florida and Texas were trafficking people by sending them to the Hamptons when that first happened. Yeah. And it's like, no, you're a sanction. Once again, everybody's okay with it until they have to deal with the problem. Like when you ask people, should people come here seeking asylum and just come straight through the border? Oh yeah. Okay, so how many people can you take in? I'm not taking anybody in. What do you mean? you don't have a problem with it. So how many people are you going to take in? I'm not. Yeah. Well,
it got so bad. He was begging people to take people into their homes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's funny because I mean, like here's we see all this stuff going down, right? So in my opinion, I don't mind, illegal immigration, whatever. I'm an anarchist. I don't think we should have any federal government or state government, whatever. Fuck it. But it's not the first generation immigrants that I necessarily have a problem voting with. It's the second and third generation. Here's why. Your first generation immigrants, like your Cubans, for example, fucking hate communism because they left communism. They say that shit's stupid. It's whack. It kills people. Your typical second or third generation, illegal immigrant child, whatever the fuck you want to call it, they'll get a good education in the U.S., whatever you define good education as, and then they'll go to college because their parents worked really fucking hard. They get to go to college and find out why communism's fucking amazing, and they think, well, hell, my parents left that for this shithole, where I've got an iPhone 38 and 3 iPads in my bag, but fuck this shithole. And that's the disconnection. Like they've had it so good in their upbringing that they don't know what real strife and trouble looks like. And that's a lot of Americans. Americans have dealt with that for so fucking long.
No, I agree with that definitely because we see how it is with a lot of the younger generation anyways. It wasn't even, they just grew up here, period. The trust fund kids and whatever else to go to college and didn't get taught about how many millions that got killed and enslaved via communism, but they just get taught the pretty roses and bows out of a fucking book. That's all they really get taught. Yeah, it's free.
I got a question. We just slipped by this. I need an explanation.
Hey,
I need an explanation for this.
When you live in Florida, when you're a kid, you're taught how to zigzag at an early age.
It's like
Florida's like an explanation for your 6-year-old stomping off a gator.
It was by a canal, just at a cookout, and it was like a 4-foot, 5-foot alligator, and she was scared, and I said, there's nothing to be scared of, and I said, go up and stomp at it real quick, and she stomped, and sure enough, it ran in the water.
Nice.
I would have shit my pants.
It's like Florida's like Australia light. Like you're gonna get killed by something there, maybe.
The problem is there's fewer convicts in Australia, so you can't really compare it to Florida.
And that's how it was founded. Holy shit!
That's why I always say kangaroo or prison deer because it was a prison at one time.
They're fucking jacked.
Yeah, they're jacked as fuck. They're just prison deer. That's all they are.
Holy shit. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. But I mean, even with the immigration, just sticking on that, like now, so with that, all that happening, now, remember, your kids were not allowed to go to school without getting immunized, right? But here we are.
Yeah.
21,000 undocumented migrant children without immunization records set to enter the New York public school system. 21,000 kids who are undocumented and have no immunization records. Meanwhile, your kid's not allowed to go to school without certain immunizations, and they're trying to add the COVID vaccine to that.
See, that's a
well,
bunch
and there's
of
only
horse
like
shit.
one sect in New York that they always blame everything for, and it's I think it's
the Hasids.
Yeah, or those are the Hasidic Jews who like
the
that's where
Hasid.
they had like the they had
the Hasids.
the Muslim the
Hasidic Jews. Yeah,
they had like a measles outbreak or something, or like it was a smallpox a few years ago, because I remember I was living up in New Jersey at the time, and I remember reading about how like they're blaming the Hasidic Jews for hey Dave.
What's up, man?
They're blaming that population for a smallpox outbreak, but what wasn't told was that it was a vaccine-induced smallpox. Like, so the person got it because they had an oral vaccination of it. And I don't know. It's just...
Listen, not for nothing. New York blames his seeds for everything.
Yeah.
Everything. But yeah, so here's the local news telling you about what's going on there.
Oh, we got to put it back up.
Oh, I do that. I do that all the time. Every time, even on the weekend hangover on Sundays, me and Jackie be talking, and I put some up, and I'm just like this, and she's like, "We can't see it." And I'm like, "Shit."
You start laughing. I'm like,
"What?" Opening day, kids rushing in to the largest school system in the country, and it just got even bigger, with 21,000 new children of asylum seekers also starting classes today in New York. Mayor Eric Adams is frustrated with the steady wave of migrants. He says the city is overwhelmed, with 10,000 arriving a month, straining city services and creating a desperate need for help from Washington.
I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
And why didn't
These are
anybody
racists who hate children?
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Why the whole funny thing is he probably had people around him being like, don't make this a sanctuary city. Like there had to have at least been a few people telling
it was already considered a sanctuary city back like with de Blasio. Like you know, you look at the city of Philadelphia, you look at even the whole state of California is considered like a sanctuary state. You know, so I mean, this isn't something new. Like, what do you think was going to happen when you like got rid of all the things that the Trump administration had put in before? You know, and then you take all that away, and you have people in the like the NGOs and shit busing people giving them like Visa gift cards and shit, like caravanning up to the United States. What do you think is going to happen if there isn't a process in place?
Somebody else, I forgot who it was just reporting on, I think it was on Tucker Carlson. I forgot the guy's name, but he was saying, okay, for your Social Security, right, you get $1,400 a month. That's what you're going to be getting, basically. We're giving illegals $2,200 a month. Jesus. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing in New York. I can't speak for New York, but in Florida, they can't enroll unless they have gone through the health department and gotten required vaccinations. The public health department does it all for free. I don't think it's in Jersey or New York. I don't think they do it for free, but I know you have to go to the doctor and get your immunizations. But yeah, it's garbage. It's severe garbage that we're allowing this to happen. And once again, this is why I say locally. But they all got sanctuary. They all became sanctuary cities to get the funding for the federal government.
Yeah.
It's like an insurance company. When your insurance company, you pay them. You finally get that, like, you finally have a fire in your house. You finally, something happens. And then they go, well, I don't think we can cover you anymore. And you're like, what? What do you mean you can't cover me anymore?
Like
that's what happened in Puerto Rico during Maria.
So New York got funding for that, but what'd they do? Waste it all on the fucking on the nursing homes and shit during COVID and fucking.
Well, I mean, De Blasio's wife lost $1.82 billion and just like, I don't know where it went. And they were just like, okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, you don't do the math right on your taxes, and they're trying to fucking shove a $9 million in your keister. It's like, whoa, hold on a sec.
It was only $20.
I know, right?
See, I can tell you exactly where all that money went. I mean, how much do you think it cost them to do a Trump indictment every 6 weeks?
Right.
I mean, that's just expensive.
Right.
But the best part is she's divorcing him now.
Oh my god.
That's it. He's done. He's done being mayor. Oh yeah, they're getting a divorce. They've been. I think it's
caught fucking some chick.
Listen. I don't.
I want to say it was like shortly after the Trump scandal came out with him and fucking a porn star, because like I want to say that was around the same time. It was either a younger chick or a dude.
I think you were thinking about Anthony Weiner. I think that's what you were thinking about.
Weiner was showing his wiener.
Well, and we all know that. But let's all listen. Let's all get the hot take from the best show on the networks. Ladies and gentlemen, the best show on the networks.
Oh, Jesus. I gotta go.
But frankly, I think we need to find, and we've dealt with this before. I lived in Miami. I was an immigrant in Miami in the 80s. You'll remember when we had the Mariel boat lift. 125,000 Cubans came in a matter of 6 months. It puts tremendous
It's a lot of
stress
cum.
on a city, on a community, on the social services. They need to be resettled elsewhere.
They need to be out. We're this massive country.
Well, and it's only going to get worse with global warming and climate change because people can't live in certain parts of this world.
Yes, it's going to get worse with global warming and climate change. People can't shut up.
Do you guys remember like the whole Elian Gonzalez thing?
Yes. Poor kid. Do you remember that picture of him being in the closet and the FBI with the gun to the kid? It's like, what the fuck?
Why.
That's fucking crazy.
It just popped in my head, like, it's giving me those type of vibes, because like around that time too, they were trying to like pushing this narrative of, I don't know, it sounds really bad, but like of feeling bad.
Yeah.
And not like using your feels instead of rationality.
That's what. Well, they're doing all
like Waco.
Well, that's what they do with like everything, gun control, all that. It's always trying to make you feel bad for standing on a principle.
Yeah, they're always trying to make you feel bad for your rights, for the rights you have, and they're like, well, like COVID. Like, oh, you're going to kill your grandparents. You're going to kill your neighbors, and your grandparents are out there having sex parties down in Florida. They don't care. Your grandparents don't give a shit. They've lived most of them. If you talk to most of them, I had a friend whose grandmother had it twice. She was 92, and she was like, and they're like, you got to go to the hospital. She's like, no, I'm not going to the hospital. She goes, if I die, I die. I don't care.
Right.
My grandma had it and cancer at the same time. Like, and she's still kicking.
Yeah. I mean, they don't like they try all the time to just harp on your feelings, and that's the problem. Is everybody? Well, what about your kid?
I'm sorry.
Democrats are
the clap right.
Oh yeah, sorry, I keep hitting it. Oh shit!
Is that why my shit itches?
Well,
Talking about
someone
the
push it.
old people in Florida.
There we go.
Well, those old folks' homes are like rife with
they are
STDs and stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, when did it go from just random? Then we'll get back on track. When did it go from STD to STI?
Political
from
correctness.
An infection to a disease. Like, I don't know. Is it because
there's a medical differentiation?
Of what?
STI versus STD.
No, there's not.
I thought they said
no. It's purely semantics.
It's just semantics.
I promise.
Yeah, it's like a DUI and a DWI.
Someone said it was.
No.
Or what are they?
It could be venereal disease, like BB.
DWI and DUI are.
Those are
now it's all. Well, no, they're all now. It's a DUI or something like that. Now it's driving under the influence. I think it is now, but while intoxicated. You know, it was DWI, but now everything's classified as a DUI now, I believe, or something. They changed the acronym. They changed the acronyms for everything just because it's like, well, you know, we haven't changed anything. Let's just change something up now.
Well, yeah. They did that for the UFO shit.
Oh yeah, that too.
Now they're UAPs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
What?
it's just trends. See, that's the same. It's just trends. Same thing with the fucking all the transgender stuff and everything for kids and all that. How they get? I'm sorry, it's all trends,
dude. Yeah.
Soda and pop in like different places.
I'm sorry, but there's no.
Pop's not correct.
There's so like I don't ever if I talk to you,
I say pop.
I know you do. We were talking yesterday.
Say Fago.
What is pop?
Tommy fuck.
You got me, fuck.
Listen, over here they say, "Do you want a sack?" And I'm like, "Do I want a what?"
What?
Yeah, they said, "Do you want a sack?"
Where are you?
In Kansas, my friend. I'm where Dorothy left. That bitch is gone. But yeah,
she didn't
they
want
asked
to
if
come back.
no, there's a reason why that bitch was on fucking LSD. That's why. But yeah, so yeah, they asked if you want a bag or a sack here, and I'm just like, I'll take a bag. You can leave my sack alone, ma'am. Thank you very much. But
are you talking about like? Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, why would they call soda or pop a sack or a bag?
No.
Oh my god! So you meant like a
a bag?
You know, it's
Like when
either a cart or a buggy, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
like a shopping cart or a shopping buggy.
yeah, it's exactly the same thing.
What the fuck is a UAP? Because to me, I think unidentified anal penetrator. So it's just something with a fired base. But what's their definition of UAP?
Same thing.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, it's like an unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah.
Oh. So they put a big fancy word on it so the hillbillies can't say that they seen
No.
one.
Right.
No, it's
all that the UAP thing.
No, I think they did it so that way, like you can. It just encompasses everything. So that way, like if you see something that you don't like, if you see an aircraft carrier that you don't know, not an aircraft carrier because they're in the water. I'm dumb. An aircraft you have no idea about.
It's nice to see.
Listen, that's an unidentified flying object right there.
Holy shit, it's real. Somebody get Nick Fury on the goddamn phone.
You know what? You're right. That is an unidentified flying object, that thing. But yeah, I think they just do it so that way it's one of those blanket terms. So that way it's like, no, it was just a spacecraft that the army or the government is working on. You know, just
like
to
those balloons that were coming over from China, and everyone's like, "Don't worry about it. Just don't look up."
You mean the ones our president spent $800,000 on to destroy? Two balloons.
I'm sorry. The videos that came out of people spoofing that shit of like being like, "Oh, someone get my rifle." Shoot that shit out.
Well, I mean, well, so let's. I want to continue the conversation I first started to try to talk about the carry.
Sorry,
Did you
STI?
Flying aircraft carriers.
Flying aircraft.
But speaking of aircraft carriers, did you see the documentary about the kid who won the Pepsi aircraft carrier and they had to change all the rules about the way, dude, this kid, did both of y'all, did y'all see that?
Adult, wasn't it?
No, he was a kid. And you had to get 6 million Pepsi caps back in the day because they didn't put on the bottom. Now you see all the disclaimers on the bottom. It's because of this. Because Pepsi almost lost the entire the whole corporate company because this kid found a way to get 6 million bottle caps and trade it into Pepsi, and he said, "I want the aircraft carrier," and Pepsi was like, "We don't have an aircraft carrier to give him," and he's like,
"Actually,
no." And you know who was a part of that? Fucking what's his face that just went to jail, Michael Avenatti. Avenatti's in that documentary. Yeah. I saw him. I went,
Pepsi in the 70s and 80s. Pepsi did actually have aircraft carriers. No shit.
Really?
So the Soviet Union could not pay its bills because obviously communism makes you broke. So they offered to buy by the metric ton Pepsi from Pepsi in exchange for military hardware. One of which being an aircraft carrier. No shit. They traded an aircraft carrier, and I believe it was a destroyer. You can look this shit up. I'm not like, I know for certain this shit
wild.
happened because I was fucking stoked because I was like, I'm starting a business. I'm trading with communists for nothing but fucking military hardware.
Right.
And so basically,
Might
the
as
U.S.
well.
government came out and said, you have to get rid of this or we're going to declare you an enemy nation. And they said, oh, cool. Hey, who wants to buy this shit for cheap?
No shit. Wow, that's crazy.
Bro, I can Scott, Facebook Marketplace. Can you buy a tank?
Yes.
Have you looked on Facebook Marketplace? My buddy just my buddy sent me a thing. It's $200,000 for a tank, and you can buy these things, and just they have no stuff inside for to use the things. But yeah, I saw somebody has one just that they take around and they shoot played like foam darts, and you could just drive it and throw foam darts out of the fucking thing. It's amazing. But yeah, you can actually buy that. You can buy Humvees. I love it out here. It's
you
amazing.
Can buy military Humvees for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing out here. It's great.
Oops.
But yeah.
So yeah, you can actually buy tanks. They're 100% legal. You just can't have the tracks on them because it's a violation of road code because it'll tear up the road. But if you have rubber tires or rubber tracks, it depends on the state, the law, but you can 100% have a fucking tank as long as the main firing cannon is disabled. So
on my way.
Dude,
give me a few months.
How did Pepsi come to own a Soviet naval fleet? That's fucking crazy.
So it wasn't an aircraft carrier, but it was like a destroyer, like 12 fucking submarines. I found the article and I posted it in the private chat there.
Yeah.
But dude, it's a wild fucking story.
That's fucking crazy. That's pretty based on their part. I'll give them some credit.
I mean, it's Soviet equipment, so it's probably fucking junk.
Probably junk, but still, yeah.
How Pepsi came to own a Soviet naval fleet. Featured in Ripley's Believe It or Not. When you think it's Russia's favorite drink, vodka comes in mind. But what is another soft drink captivated the hearts of the Soviet Union is one of the craziest business deals in history. Russia sold Pepsi an entire military arsenal of vehicles to satisfy their craving for the popular soda, making them the 6th largest naval fleet in the world. Holy shit. It's amazing.
That is wild.
2 of the top 10 naval fleets are based out of the U.S. Just saying.
I want one of those Pepsis. Look at that. That looks so cool. Look at those Russian Pepsis. I want a Russian Pepsi.
Well,
they're
probably better.
In Russia still has the cocaine in it.
I bet you it does.
Yeah. To find a Russian over there and ask them. Yeah,
love that first sip. It all started in American National Exhibit in Moscow in 1959 when the then President Richard Nixon, of course it was Nixon, and Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev became locked in the infamous kitchen debate, an argument about the perks of capitalism versus communism. To cool down the heated discussion, Donald Kendall, the head of Pepsi's international division, told Nixon to offer Khrushchev a taste of the fruits of capitalism, labor. Pepsi. Wow.
You want to taste some capitalism, baby? Here's some Pepsi.
Here's some fucking aircraft carriers that fly.
Oh.
These things are insane.
Oh my God. That's incredible, man. But it just shows you, like,
I've never heard that story before, ever.
But it shows you, once again, money can buy you whatever the fuck you want.
Diplomacy.
Diplomapsy.
Diplomaps. There you go. Yes.
Good for you. Good for you.
That was the best trade deal ever for Pepsi. The Russians I feel like they got the really short end of that stick, almost worse than New York picking up Aaron Rodgers this season.
Why? Because they got diabetes? And New York just got fucked.
Because he just got an Achilles heel or Achilles tendon.
Did you see it pop?
Like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah. Did you see who reached? Did you see who reached out after that happened?
Colin Kaepernick?
Colin Kaepernick's fucking agent reached out to him. Like, this dude hasn't played since 2016. You're gonna reach? Come on.
And he wasn't that good then.
No.
Who
the
fuck is he talking to?
Yeah.
We're not a college team, bro. We play football.
Listen, I don't know about you, but we don't kneel here. I mean, if you like to do that in your personal time, hey, by all means. But yeah, I don't. That was brutal. But that's what it is. Aaron Rodgers is used to playing on grass, and the difference between grass and turf is tremendous. Like turf doesn't give a fuck. Turf just doesn't give, and grass gives, and everything like that. And so he was just, honestly, the problem is New York is garbage. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I don't know if everybody else knows that, but New York is garbage. I think we did about 20 minutes on it before. But they've got the Giants and the Jets in the same stadium, and they've done that forever. Okay. And of course, it's a lot cheaper to just take the AfroTurf and just scoop it away and then just put Jets, or scoop it away and put the Giants. But they used to have grass, and there was less injuries.
Well, they got more room in there now with Manning and his Easter Island head out of there. I mean, they got a little more.
Oh my God, the mouth breather is gone. I swear, every time you see Eli Manning after a play,
they all look.
And his helmet's all huge, and you're like, "Is it for your brain?" Like, I don't know. It's like looks disproportionate to his face. Like, I don't know.
That motherfucker's got a 15-gallon head. Let's be
honest. Yeah, he does.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers tore his fucking Achilles off because it wasn't real grass. It might have something to do with the motherfucker's like 86 in football years.
He is,
but then
he is Papal.
Well, there's that.
The players talked about watching him play as a kid. There was one player on the team saying, as a kid, I wanted to play with Aaron Rodgers. You know how fucking old you are in sports?
Right. And also in that play, I think it was in that play, the guard or something went for a chop block on the guy, but the guy pulled and fucking went right past him. So it was like there was a fucked up play also from the beginning. But also, I agree. Yeah, he's like 80-something in football years. He shouldn't be.
I've said it to every single person who has said that they're excited about Aaron Rodgers playing on the Jets. I said, that's fine, but the Jets still has no fucking line to guard Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bad time. And boy, was I correct. It didn't even take 5 snaps.
Dude, I'm a Bears fan. Every time we get somebody's excited about him, I'm like, he's going to blow because we have no offensive line. Yeah. It's just how it is.
People don't realize how much you need a line, a good line. Yeah. And for some reason, I keep watching these linemen get smaller and smaller every year. It's like, no, you can't be a lineman and 300 pounds lean. You have to be a lineman and like look like fucking ogre.
Yeah.
You need to be a big giant dude. You need to look like Shrek and be a lineman. You can't, but these guys are getting leaner and everything like that. It's like, no, you can't be movable. And these guys are.
Look, it took him 2 snaps. 1 for the center to snap the ball, and then 2 for him to snap his tendon.
Dude, I'm still reeling. Oh, I saw it pop. I saw the video. I was like, I was trying to avoid it, and I saw it, and it was like, and I was like, oh, because you just see his just front foot just stay there, and the rest of his foot just go, and it's just,
yeah. I think I'm willing to bet he's done. I don't think he'll be making a comeback.
He's done for the season. Yeah.
Well,
he's probably done for his career.
I think he's done forever.
No. But
if he tries to come back, he ain't gonna be shit to come back. He might try, but I don't think
he'll the fucking Browns will pay him $7 billion.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
For 3 seasons.
Listen,
you're not wrong.
And you know who gets really fucked in this deal? Green Bay. Because Green Bay was supposed to get the Jets' first round pick, because everybody knows the Jets is going to be great. They were supposed to get the Jets' first round pick if Aaron Rodgers took 65% of the snaps, and boy,
did you
now? Yeah,
now on that. And did you also see there was a Twitter account that was like a couple hours before the game? Somebody said there was, and it got. I think the account is either suspended or down now. But it was a literal tweet that went out that said, "In 2.5 hours at MetLife Field, Aaron Rodgers is going to rupture his Achilles."
Really?
No way.
Yes, literally happened.
So, listen, do you believe in the conspiracy that the NFL is planned every year?
Yeah,
yes. And I'll tell you why.
I've heard it, and I have a feeling that it could be true sometimes.
No, this is a proof. I have proof. All right. Last year, Peyton Manning and other people are producers for a show on Netflix called Quarterbacks. They had Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and some other dude from that was on the Falcons, and then he like got traded to somewhere else, and I think he's playing with Minnesota now or something like that. Well, so they needed they had to have their storyline. The guy that the guy that got traded, the guy that you wanted to win, and they did it really great, but they ended up losing, and then the guy that wins, which was Patrick Mahomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Eagles lost on purpose because they needed that victory story for the Netflix series quarterbacks that came out this year. I'm just saying. And I'm an Eagles fan. That's why.
I would hold that against you.
What? I have a house divided. Like it's Eagles and Bucks. I can't. it's both.
Yeah.
No, my grandfather was a Bucks fan, and I was happy when they won when Tom Brady was on there. I still want a Bucks Brady jersey.
I was happy when they won too. I mean, I was just happy that he fucking went there and he showed that he's actually a pretty good quarterback, as opposed to everyone being like, it's only Belichick is the reason why he's good. Well, Belichick's a good coach, but he ain't winning shit like he was with Brady. So, I mean, there's that.
I got a video of my husband in his creamsicle Bucks jersey, like popping champagne after the Bucks won. Yeah, he's got. Yeah.
Did you say creamsicle? And I imagined him in a fucking costume. I don't know why.
Creamsicle costume with Tom Brady's name on the back. I want that now. Holy shit!
Did you what was that? What was it Ted? When they break into Tom Brady's house and they're like threatening to jerk him off or something like that.
Yeah, it was Ted 2.
Yes, Ted 2, wasn't it?
Okay. It was Ted 2. But yeah, listen, Tom Brady, and then he came back and he's now. It'd be great. Watch. It'd be great if Tom Brady got inducted to the New England Patriots Hall of Fame, and then they called Tom Brady to be a Jet. Hey, Tom, you want to play for the Jets?
That would be crazy.
All right.
Well, the person who picked a perfect retirement was Tony Romo, because he retired, jumped immediately into that announcer seat.
Yeah,
and is not going anywhere, because after that game, he called play for fucking play. He's not going anywhere.
He still does it. I think Tony Romo is one of the best announcers there is out there. Next to Pat McAfee, of course, because I'm a true Pat McAfee fan. I fucking love that.
He didn't play for Dallas the way that he fucking does that, but whatever.
I'm pissed that McAfee went to ESPN. He ain't gonna have the same show.
I know, but listen, sometimes that money is just
the money calls, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I give Pat McAfee this. Pat McAfee is a man of his word, and Pat McAfee, just like he did with the Colts, if he doesn't like what's going on, Pat will walk away. He's always said that from day one. Pat said, if I don't like what's going on, I will walk away. I don't care.
Yeah, he could go back to his show on YouTube and all that. He could just redo that.
And he can still make money. But that's one reason why I love Pat McAfee, is because the man is a man of his word. If he does, if he doesn't like what's going to go on in ESPN, he will just fucking walk away. And he's like Crowder. He can bring fans back to his YouTube channel and get sponsors without hesitation, And if he wants to start his own network, he start his own network, But
I'm gonna bring up one of these last articles real quick, one that Jackie threw in here, which I don't know how likely this is gonna be, but China is likely headed for a full-blown financial crisis as its economy is due for wilder swings, market experts say. China's economy is likely headed for financial crash. Market veteran Rucher Sharma warned. That is a really weird name, Rucher, if that's how it's said. That's because of the property bubble that was fueled by soaring debts, he said in the Financial Times. In this scenario, the next big step for China is a full-blown financial crisis. Now, I mean, I realize that has something to do with,
has something to do with BRICS, don't you?
The property market ship, but isn't that the whole reason why they're joining BRICS, is to be able to have their own economy going better and all that?
Yeah, but wouldn't they want to destroy the economy so that way it makes BRICS a little better, so that way they can bring it up again? You know what I mean? Kind of destroy the market to bring the market back up. So I don't listen. A lot of this stuff is fabricated. A lot of this stuff is like our economy's tanking because you know, and then having certain companies buy land and certain companies buy certain properties, certain people buying certain properties and land, and all of a sudden the market skyrockets. I mean, you know, I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past.
I'm still waiting to see if they're gonna end up doing like full blown gold back too, gold backing the BRICS currency and all that shit. Well,
they own all our gold, you know, so you know, they have all of ours. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, man. The way the world is working right now, it's just, I don't even know. I don't know how we fix this. Like, we can't fix the world, but how do we even fix ourselves? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, bringing Trump back, is that going to fix everything? No. Is you know, is
the guy
you know,
was
getting
only in politics for 4 years. Like, I mean,
yeah, but everybody.
The only thing that he ain't gonna fix it, but the only thing he'll fix if he gets in is if he does that Schedule F shit and gets rid of like what's it, 50,000 fucking employees, the federal government, and if he comes in and actually does away with the IRS and shit. And I don't mind if they go to like just the consumption tax, but I'm tired of this fucking my income tax and shit.
But that goes back to the feelings thing.
Skeleton crew of the federal government. We just need the skeleton crew.
But
the Republican bill, the one that would abolish the IRS instead of flat tax, that would be the greatest step in the right fucking direction ever. Because we are in an automated society. You're telling me they can take out my state sales tax without having to file it, but they need some fucking magical paperwork that allows me to file my federal fucking taxes?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I've always said too. It's like, why do I have to do your fucking job and fill something out at the end of the year when you've been taking my shit all fucking year out of my check?
And then you go, wait, maybe we took too much.
Yeah.
Maybe did we take too much? No, we didn't take enough.
No, we didn't take
you know,
enough.
maybe. And then you've got like 30 days to pay it. And if you don't pay it, I know you didn't make enough. I know, you know, but that's the thing. It's like you're taxed when you get paid. You're taxed when you go shopping. You're taxed when you buy gas. Like all these taxes, and everybody's like, the Republicans are crazy. Yeah, the Republicans are crazy. Your property taxes. Republicans are crazy. They just want to do a 30% flat tax. How nuts is that? It's like, bro, do you understand you're getting taxed 70% now?
Well, speaking of death tax, that was something that Vivek was wanting to actually make it a little higher.
What?
Yeah, that was something I heard a while ago. He was wanting to make it like 60% or some shit.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's some, you know what though? That's some communist shit because they don't like the generational wealth shit. Yeah. That is it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's
I read it in the manifesto this weekend.
Well, here's a piece of garbage that should be put in jail. Judge allows bankrupt FTX to sell its crypto holdings, including BTC and SOL. Lawyers for FTX have submitted filings with the bankruptcy court for the District of Delaware, asking for permission to sell stakes and hedges its crypto holding in order to pay back creditors. Which would be me. Can I have my money back, please? Thank you very much, you sons of bitches.
Dude,
crypto exchange FTX can sell and invest its crypto holdings to pay back creditors. You fucks. A judge in the
that's the kicker.
Yep.
Yeah.
A judge in the U.S. bankruptcy court.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to take the money that it's lost in the bankruptcy and invest back into it. That piece of shit should be under a jail. He should be where Bernie Madoff is now, actually. Bernie's dead. In a court hearing, Judge John Darcy said that he approved the motion and overruled 2 objections that were made opposing the plan. This allows the bankrupt exchange to sell, stake, and hedge its crypto holdings, which is said to be worth over $3.4 billion. God
damn.
Isn't that the creepy dude that was giving away like hundreds of millions of dollars to Democrats?
Yeah.
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 I removed the wrong one. Sorry.
Yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried. I was like, where'd I go? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was with that guy.
He said, "Yeah," and then the feds just got his fucking internet. His door kicked in right now. Like,
they click it back on. I'm like,
he's got a dead dog in the background. He didn't even have a fucking dog. They brought their own dog to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you shoot the dog? Well, I didn't shoot anything. You shot the dog. But yeah, he's the piece of garbage that was taking the money that people are investing, putting it into his own coin and telling people to buy his coin. It's like, wait a minute. The fuck are you doing? What are you, Hitler? Like, you can't do that. Just be like, hey, guys, this is my money now. Like, invest in this money. Like, no, you can't. You can't do that. That's not allowed. And he was just taking and then giving money to his girlfriend, and she was just spending it all, and she was that homely looking thing.
Well, here's the thing. I can argue against, yeah, it should be allowed, but people need to have fucking common sense. Be like, no, like that's like the whole, like, especially whenever it comes down to like my common sense point too, when it comes to this whole crypto deal and the CBDC, if they try to put that through, is you still have crypto bros and whatnot thinking that they can get around it. If we get a CBDC, you're not going to be able to go around it. It will not. Well,
and that's why you see a lot of articles and different things and governments coming out talking about how cryptocurrency is like awful.
Yeah.
Right. And how, like, you know, only criminals. I think I saw an article and the headline was like, only criminals use cryptocurrencies. Should they still be around?
Yes, because I want evidence of my drug dealings. Because that's exactly what. Yeah, excuse me, sir. Do you have a 1099? Because my drug dealer needs it. That'd be great. Thanks.
Do you remember walking into a bathroom and someone rolled up a Bitcoin and snorted a line with it? You know, because when I buy drugs, I use Bitcoin. I pull out physical Bitcoin. Oh, that's cash. I'm sorry. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They say they think that is so super corrupt, and it's like, dude, you can do so much shit with our cash. Like, that's the whole point of it, though. I should be able to do whatever I want with my cash, and you can fuck off. Get out of my business.
Dude, are you seeing less and...
I need cash now.
Yeah, exactly. JG went with
it. What were you saying, Mama J?
I had, like,
damn it, you got that song stuck in my head now.
I know. No, the best example is why, like, I feel like cryptocurrencies and all this stuff that's like set up to the grid isn't going to work. Is like, so my son and I went bowling this weekend, and the place that we went to go bowling at literally got struck by lightning right before we walked in, and all their credit card machines, their phones, everything except for the lights were like down, right? Like anything that's connected to the internet was down.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, like
you could only use cash to pay for like games, shoes, food, anything.
And that kind of, in a way, makes sense, to be honest, if they put us on that system, because then you wouldn't have anything if stuff went down.
The company couldn't run anymore. The people couldn't patronize the company, you know, like.
And here's the whole thing:
they can block you from making the transactions too.
Yeah.
They can say, "No, you've had too much fun this month. You didn't lock down."
Ooh.
Exactly.
Oh, like the Do Black card?
Yes, I was going
like
to say this is a good opportunity to. I swear we have to run it like every week. Every time we have a chance to.
Now. Okay, but I'm gonna do the video that
like Jackie was saying with crypto and shit. I was in the space for a while, so I know a decent little bit about it. And that's one thing that if the electricity and all that shit went down, of course, yes, crypto and all that's gone. The one thing that would survive if the internet and shit came back, one would be Bitcoin, because it's one of the top blockchain systems that hasn't been broke into, really can't be, and it's the only one that would still be running as long as the nodes still came up. That would be the only like good thing with that one. But if if we were all on crypto or anything, and say an EMP went off, like everyone's fucked if you don't have cash.
Oh man, it's gonna go back to the days when you had like the in the 80s with the credit card, like instead of having the credit card machine, you had the thing.
Yeah, I was just watching something on TikTok. Listen, TikTok, for as much shit as it is, it gives you nostalgia sometimes, because they'll show you a video of like what it was back in the 80s and 90s. And like, yeah, you forgot that like they used to take a machine and just go and take a copy of your credit card and then put it
carbon copy.
Yeah.
On carbon paper.
And then they would run it through later on. Like now they don't even want you. Now they don't even have the numbers on the front of it so people can't see it. They literally had a copy of everybody's credit card in every store. But yeah, so we were talking about the crypto stuff. So here's one of the Tom Reamer talking about why they're introducing a bill for not allowing cryptocurrency.
the Central
then I
Bank
put the other
Digital
video in the
Currency
chat. I'll be right back.
Anti-Surveillance State Act, which puts a check on unelected bureaucrats and ensures that the United States digital currency policy upholds our values of privacy, individual sovereignty, and free market competitiveness. Recent actions from the Biden administration have made it clear that they are not only itching to create a digital dollar, but they're willing to trade Americans' right to financial privacy for a surveillance-style CBDC. This bill ensures the future of crypto is in the hands of the American people, not the administrative state, by prohibiting the Federal Reserve from creating a tool with unfettered insight into Americans' financial data. If not open, permissionless, and private, like cash, a CBDC is nothing more than a CCP-style surveillance tool that can be weaponized to oppress the American way of life. We're not going to let that happen, not on House Republicans' watch. And I want to thank the Financial Services Committee for considering our bill this month, and we're going to continue working to ensure that the digital economy is designed by Americans and emulates American values. And I return it.
Now, like, while I appreciate that, it's cool that they're doing it, but here's the whole thing with the way that everything's going. It's going to be the same thing with, like, we were talking about that IRS bill. It's not going to, it's political posturing. I mean, I'm sure maybe he does want it to be that way. Cool. I agree. I just don't, it's probably just going to get fucking knocked down.
Here's what you always need. You don't need cash. You don't need crypto. You need tangible assets. And there's only two that fucking matter. There's gold and fucking ammo. Or, in my case, it's Russian-made ammo that has been banned for like a few fucking years. The good old steel case fucking junk. But hey, anything Russian-made, you have to run Russian-made ammo because guess what? Otherwise, it runs like shit. It's kind of like that shitty Honda Civic you bought in high school that wouldn't run good with clean oil, so you had to use fucking oil in it. That's the same thing.
Once it's dirty, keep it dirty.
There you
go. So we are going to introduce you, Chris, to Do Black. Do Black.
New Black.
Do Black.
Yeah, this
D-O
Do Black.
Black.
Yeah, this is the card and the shit that the elites definitely want.
All right, yeah. So it's a partnership between MasterCard and a company called Do Economy. It's a fintech company who works with who was founded in 2017 and is works with the UN and stuff now.
Yep.
In 2018,
my face every time I hear UN too. I'm like,
released an urgent report emphasizing the need to cut carbon emissions in half by 2030 in order to avoid an irreversible climate crisis. The average consumer in Sweden causes around 10 tons of carbon emissions each year, of which 60% is linked to consumption. This spring, the economy took its fight against climate change one step further by adding a premium credit card to its offer. But instead of introducing a premium credit card with the typical benefits that encourages further mass consumption, the economy did the opposite by launching Do Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit.
You notice anything on the back of that card?
That number 13.
That number right there? Climate action. What was that again, Scotto?
Straight from the steps of Agenda 2030, number 13.
Yeah, the 17 goals for sustainable development. Number 13 is climate action. So much sustainability.
Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending.
Declined. You've reached your CO2 emissions limit.
Not based on your available funds, but rather on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption. Do Black helps you track your climate impact and ensure.
By the way, did you notice there was burgers on there too? There's food. So your carbon footprint is by food also.
Yep, cow farts.
Ensures that you reduce it by 50% in line with the UN 2030 recommendation.
The core purpose of Do Black is not only the ability to measure the impact of your consumption, but also bringing it to a direct halt making it a radical tool against climate change.
Yeah, that doesn't sound communistic at all.
For years, credit cards have put a limit on our credit. Do Black puts a limit on our impact.
I just want to say how racist it is. It's a black card with a basketball court on it. Did y'all notice that? It's got a fucking basketball court. Like the lines
I always said that. Why is the black lady holding the Do Black card? But I never noticed
it's got
the
a basketball court
court
on it. Go back 3 fucking seconds. Tell me that doesn't look like a fucking basketball court aerial view.
Holy shit! Jordan for 3.
So like, well, whenever you can't do anything or buy shit, go play basketball.
So here's the crazy thing, right? So I drive a diesel truck. Like my carbon limits hit when I get like half a tank for the month.
Yeah.
But so does it? So does it still measure your carbon footprint outside of using the card? Because I'm trying to figure out how many blue helmets I can burn in my yard for warmth before I hit my limit every month.
So would have, and to me, like it might. Probably for the most part, I think it would just keep track of what you're buying and using, gas and other stuff like that. But I would definitely 100% say that eventually it would come with an app too that tracks where you're going, like all that shit.
Yeah.
The launch generated thousands of registrations and global media.
Look at all those big giant companies
that
are associated with it.
Coverage, but more importantly, triggered the conversation around the impact of consumption. The introduction of Do Black was a wake-up call to commercial and financial industries alike, and generated an overwhelming interest and willingness to enter an era of greater responsibility. It would seem that putting a carbon impact limit on consumption isn't such a radical concept after all.
I got the end. It just says denied. It should just be called Do Nothing card because you know it's just gonna fucking cut you off.
Own nothing card.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was what was it? What did she say? 2017 they started this.
Yeah, that's when the company started.
And did you see all those CEOs and all that? Just we need to do. And if you don't think this stuff is by design, there's something wrong with you. Honestly.
Yeah,
like,
one of the co-founders of Duconomy was like they were speaking. I started looking at like fintech finance news. Apparently, like that's a thing because it's a fintech company, and they have like the co-founder of Duconomy was like there, like making was talking to some people there, and I don't know how, but this fintech financial news website is also connected to Jobs Ohio somehow.
Yeah, I would say it's in Ohio. Well, dude, I think almost every single
they're
state
sponsoring the FinTech Finance News Awards this year.
Well, and if you look
Ohio.
into like every single state, I think every single state has a little UN agreement thing. As far as I know a lot of them do. If it's toward the Agenda 2030 bullshit. But that's why it's ramping up. The goal is Agenda 2030. No matter what anybody wants to think, that's what the goal is. WEF is pushing it all. That's the whole reason why they're doing all this shit.
And they're not doing it behind our backs. They're doing it in our faces now. They're literally putting it out there. I believe that the governor of New Mexico knows what the fuck she's doing, and she just doesn't care. They don't care anymore. They don't want to hide it. They don't care about hiding it because people are so brainwashed that they just go, oh, okay.
So I don't mind when companies are trying to take care of the environment, right? When they're doing it on their own dime and they're supporting it. So like I'm someone who enjoys being outdoors. That's why I live in East Tennessee. There's tons of outdoors, very few people. Unfortunately, some Californians, but we've got tons of nature, tons of wildlife that we love to see and protect. And I support anyone who wants to help protect that. Do I think climate change is something we've controlled as humans? Absolutely not. I think that's an ignorant fucking decision to say that we're more powerful than a planet that's been here before we were here and will be here after we're here. But The problem, so like Apple, for example, they're by 2030, they're wanting to be completely carbon neutral. Cool.
Yeah.
They did it on their own volition. It's by themselves. They're not taking government subsidies, as far as I've ever seen. But it's when government gets involved, it no longer is about goodwill or doing the right thing. It's immediately about A, political pandering, or B, absolute fucking control. Because as we've seen, the EPA recently had a case thrown out in the Supreme Court because they were trying to redefine, using the ATF's example, to redefine waters of the United States of America. They were trying to prevent these people from putting gravel in their driveway because of that Waters of America Act, or whatever the fuck they call it. But basically, the Supreme Court was like, no, that's a fucking stretch. Shut it down. But we're seeing more and more of that stuff. Wait until they start using climate emergency, whatever, like the public health care, health emergency for climate change, and they ban fucking gas cars. Because we've seen them just ban guns.
Right. Well, I think
and California already wants to do that.
And I think Biden signed an EO that would make it difficult for car companies or whatever to produce combustion engines by 2027 or something like that. Like, yeah. And then you see in California, you can't by 2035, you're not going to be able to purchase a gas vehicle within the state.
Yeah, they're ready to go full commie there.
The
is this
black
it?
market for clapped out Honda Civics is going to be fucking beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Is this the one Supreme Court to hear case that could limit the EPA's power to fight climate change?
Yeah, they've already ruled on it, but it's that same one. I believe it's the same one anyways. It's it looks like it's about the same time period.
226. Yeah, I'm trying to find which one it
well,
is.
With everything is like, what state is it? I think it's in Oregon. In Oregon, people have to have like a certain thing inside their electric vehicle for that will measure like how far like they've used or how much they've used their vehicle for like the month or the year or whatever, and that's their carbon tax. And when you were talking earlier about like, oh well, how are they? Is it just that car that they're going to use to calculate your carbon emissions? Yada yada yada. No, I mean, they're doing different things like, you know, what was it? It was like Geico or something. It was like, oh, how well are you driving? Put this thing in your car so we can measure like how well you're doing. It's like that, but they're going to use different things for like the carbon taxes. I mean, you're going to have to use your phone for everything. Soon enough, everyone's going to be chipped or whatever.
That's what we should do to curb gun violence in America. We should just create a gun violence tax. Because that's how you solve issues. You just tax people and it goes away. It's like hush money.
Yeah, like climate change. You throw a 20 at a fucking tornado and it just goes away, right?
Well,
like a fucking stripper.
You can't throw money at it like Magic Johnson did with AIDS. It's not going to go away. You can't fix the weather with money. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they just think that throwing money at it and people, and the fact that people are just like, yeah, no, that sounds like a good idea is astonishing. The fact that people are still arguing why it's a good idea to throw money at Ukraine still, I just think they're plants. They're just plants now.
We've talked about this before. We talked about the difference between micro way of thinking and macro way of thinking. You know, and a lot of people are so micro in like their own little world, and they only see like 10 feet in front of them, that they don't understand like the actual impact on, you know, the person that's 5 miles down the road or like in a different state or, you know, a different background.
Like all these Democrats that vote for their policies but don't realize that the impact fucks them every single fucking time. And
and then they move to like red states and then fuck it all up there.
Well, that's the thing about like when you talk about micro and macro, you get people in these blue states who want these gun laws that don't care about the middle of America, because in the middle of America, there's actual fucking vermin that you have to shoot, like hogs, like feral hogs that are all around, and people actually have to shoot them. And yeah, it might take 1 clip, 2 clips to put them down, but nobody out in the outskirts or blue states know or care, because they're thinking their state in the micro instead of the entire United States.
It's because they're wearing Kevlar vests.
In my backyard the other day. 12 turkeys.
I don't even give a fuck if it was turkeys with nuclear fucking weapons and a Russian accent. It's not about fucking animals. It's not. The only threat to Americans are the politicians who want to get rid of guns. Period. It's even the politicians that don't want to get rid of guns. They're still the fucking problem. They're the only vermin in this country that we need to use guns to solve.
Mind you,
I'm not even saying we should shoot them. I'm just saying the threat of violence is what they use against us. It is our turn to scare the politicians back into understanding. Thomas Jefferson said, people that are afraid of its government is a tyranny. Government that's afraid of its people, that's democracy. Or that's freedom, whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah, but people don't believe that. People believe that the government is there to help them out and to give them what they need, and they forget.
Yeah, we think we're about to be wrapping up here in a few anyways.
Yeah,
we got
and
Rich came into 800,000.
What did he say?
800,000 missiles on a $50 balloon.
Dude, I'll never forget that. I will never ever forget. He spent 800,000 because I was on Rich's show, Voice of the People, which is a great show. We were talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, he shot a missile at it." I was like, and he's like, "Yeah, it was 400,000." I was like, "Yeah, 400,000." And then he goes, "Dude, you know it was 2?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, there was 2 missiles that were 400,000 each." I go, "That motherfucker spent $800,000 on a fucking $50 balloon." And he was cracking up because I didn't realize it was a fucking fake balloon.
Let's be honest though. That's the most American response we could have ever given. Do you know the top two purchasers of explosives in the world are?
Did you just have balloons come up, or did I have a stroke? What the fuck is going on? You had a thumbs up before, and now there was a stroke.
I don't know what the balloon thing is. Anyways, it's the Chinese fucking with us.
Yes.
So basically, fuck, where was I going?
The most American thing.
Yeah, it's the most American thing ever. Do you know who the top 2 purchasers of explosives in the world are?
Mm-mm.
It's the U.S. military. It's number 1. Number 2 is Disney World.
Huh?
What?
Yep, Disney, because of their fireworks show every single day, they buy more explosives
every single night.
The top 2 purchasers of explosives are both America.
Pluto, you want to say something
$800,000 for missiles? That's cheap. That's entry level. They laugh at countries with missiles that are less than $800,000.
Right.
That Moab was what, $6 million?
Should have just
dropped in Syria.
So yeah, you should have just fucking had Disney blow that shit up. Fuck it.
Dude, I didn't. That makes sense. They have a fucking fireworks display every night. Once again, Florida's just a different place. Once again, it comes back to Florida.
Well, I think it's Disney as a whole, but still.
Yeah.
Dude, Disney as a whole is
Disney Euro, Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Japan, Disney Under the Sea, whatever the fuck.
Disney is just a crazy place because nobody's ever died in Disney. Ever. I think there's been 2 people. 2 people have died in Disney. Everybody else, they just fucking heave ho out of there. Hi ho. Get your ass off the property and go. They don't fucking. They don't die in Disney. But
their argument though is pretty solid because they say that they're not physicians, so they can't declare someone dead. So technically, they can't die on the property.
And
I don't know, Pluto. You think he's dead? Nope.
His head's missing. Can't declare him dead. They're not medical professionals.
Yeah.
He's got no fucking head. Let him
out. All right.
Can you imagine if they put like Mickey Mouse in charge of the fucking missiles that shot down that balloon, and then all of a sudden you hear that goddamn voice? No, imagine being a Russian pilot in 10 years when we're at war with Russia for some fucking reason, and you're the Russian pilot. All you hear is, you're like, what the fuck?
Welcome to America,
it blows
bitch.
Up the plane. Yeah, it blows up the plane, and then you see like the Mickey Mouse ears, the logo.
That would be awesome.
It's like the Tinkerbell that goes across the castle.
Dude, that would be amazing. Oh my god, you just see the Disney kids just doing the Disney sign.
That would be worth every penny of a Disney Plus subscription that I already pay for just to watch Disney commit war crimes in other nations with explosives. Like, all of a sudden, they're arming the Ukrainians. Like, all of a sudden, it's like Goofy, some dude in a Goofy costume running down with a fucking saw, like,
right? All kitted out.
Disney fireworks. For whatever reason, the fob looks like an old German castle. It's fucking crazy.
I'm trying to race through my head to think of Disney characters, and I can't for some reason.
War
Little
crimes.
mermaids out there just sinking fucking subs. Hey, it's not a
You
war
just
crime
hear
the first
accidentally
time,
in love as something blows up. Accidentally in love.
Yeah.
Okay, babe. Shrek popping out of the fucking tunnel and running at you with a fucking band.
Oh my God.
That's fucking cool.
Dude, that would be a great show to watch. I would love to just watch that. Disney characters just coming out and blowing.
Coming and all the
Disney
and all the brooms. All the brooms launching like rockets.
But they only send what's the name of the bear? Winnie the Pooh. They only send Winnie the Pooh to China. It's an entire army of Winnie the fucking Pooh chasing China.
It's just all gay men dressed in yellow. Just painted yellow. So you see it's just running at you. Listen, I've said it forever. If you're gay and you want to join the military, God bless you. Put them on the front line and let us just run towards them naked, because they will just fucking scatter.
Lordy B. Well, on that note,
I'm still trying to think of Snow White doing something. Seven dwarves.
That's probably after the war.
She does the interrogations. That's why she's got 7 dwarves.
Right?
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
But yeah. Now we're gonna close this out. Let the people know where to find you again there, Chris.
If you want to find me and get more of this horrible content, on the bottom of the screen there it says @Libertarian_not. That's not accurate anymore. That's actually wrong. It's the ATFV bootleg on Twitter. Don't know why the old one's up there, but hey, whatever, fuck it. But you can also find us, Not a Real Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, your mom's house, wherever we're at. Me and Susie will be there, and appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. This was fun, man. This was real fun.
Yeah.
Yep. And you guys can catch us next week as usual, next Tuesday. And beyond that, fuck the moon. We're going to Uranus.
We're going to Uranus. Woo!
Hope you all have a good fucking night. Love y'all, and
see you next week.
Next week. Where the fuck is this outro? I always fucking miss it. All right, later.